you guys are going to calculate in SE6 on, which page was that? 618? On page 618. You're going to calculate the horizontal information by basically doing the change in terms of dollars and the change in terms of percentages for our company Otis Inc. Okay, and so you have the dollars. So if you can create the dollar change as well as the percentage change. Okay, so if you would work on that, that would be very good. So you're going to put your dollars here and your percentages here. Okay? And in SE6, I think most of you probably fairly easy job doing the calculations, okay? We're simply talking about the differences here between 2011, 2012, and then the percentage change. Percentage change just being the current year minus last year over last year and then times 100. Right? Okay, that's all you were doing. And these are the numbers you get. Can anybody tell me what your analysis of this company was? Who would like to share? Come on, be brave, be brave. More than one person can too. Go ahead, Andres.
The company's sales increased, but the net income and earnings per share remained the same because of the large increase in their interest expense and operating expenses.
Okay, good. Okay, very good. So the positive here, the positive takeaway, their sales increased by 24%. That's great. Most companies would love for their sales to increase by 24%. However, what about their profitability? Profitability didn't increase at all. Okay? As a matter of fact, their income before taxes went down by 4.5%. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Say bad. Bad. Okay? So their income before taxes went down. Would you like if your income before taxes went down?
No.
No, of course not, okay? So it's a bad thing. And what we can see is that right out of the gate, their cost of goods sold, so the cost of the things that they're selling, increased at a faster pace than their sales increased at.
Bad.
That's bad. Right, exactly. Okay? So I don't know if there's a change in the composition of the things that they're buying, that they're selling, or maybe remember when we looked at Hershey's a long time ago. Maybe something increased in one of the main components of the things that they sell. Maybe the cocoa beans, there was a bad crop, and so the cost increased. Who knows? That's what you would evaluate. But something changed in the composition of the cost of the items that they were selling relative to their ability to raise the prices to their customers. Because typically speaking, if you have a 27% increase in your cost of goods sold, what are you trying to do? You're going to make up for it by charging higher prices to your customers, right? Okay, so that's why I say that the whole thing with raising, I'm going to give you a little economics here. My opinion on the minimum wage, okay, is right there. It's right there, okay? So you raise the cost of what you're going to sell, and if you can't offset the increase to your customers, you know, you're going to reduce your profitability. Companies don't want to do that, so what are they going to do? They're going to raise the cost of the things you're going to sell. And that's why prices of everything goes up when you raise the minimum wage, okay? So, end of economics lesson. So now, looking at our gross margin, our gross margin is only 19% relative. Our gross margin only increased by 19% when our sales increased by 24%. Again, not a good thing. We look at our operating expenses. Our operating expenses increased by 33%, and our sales only increased by 24%. So again, even though our sales went up, we weren't able to increase the sales price by so much when our operating and our cost of goods sold are going up by more. Okay, so bad trend. Okay, interest expense also went up greater than our sales. So while the company had an increase in sales, their percentage-wise stayed the same. Percentage-wise, it did not, okay? Percentage-wise, what you want to see is you want to see something comparable to what your sales went up by, and that's clearly not the case. So their trend, their year-to-year performance is not better. So even though their sales was better, their year-to-year performance was not better, okay? We're going to use the formula that's on page 597, okay? Page 597 is the formula that we're using, okay? And we have our base year number, and then what we call our index year. Okay, so for each year, we're taking the index year and we're putting it over the base year. So in 2011, on SE5, in 2011, our base year and our index year are the same number. So in 2011, if we're trying to calculate our net sales, we're going to be looking at 224 over 224, which is 100%. So our net sales is going to be 100%. Okay, in 2012, so that's 2011. 2012, our index year is 272, correct? And we're over 224. So what's that percentage? What did somebody say? 121. 121.4. Okay, so 121.4%. 2013, we get, how much is our sales is 316 over still that same base year. What'd you get for percentage? 141.1. Thank you. 141.1. So clearly we can see our trend is up. Our sales trend, oops, my bad. Sales trend is up. Now you do the same thing with your accounts receivable. What's our accounts receivable in 2011? Say what? 42 over 42, 100%. Okay. 2012 is what number? 64 over 42. What'd you get?
121. Oh wait, 152.
152 point what? 0.4. 152.4. Okay, and 2013. What's the numerator?
86.
86.
204.8.
204.8. Okay, 204.8. So, good trend or bad trend here? Bad. Good sales trend. Our sales are going up. But what we're seeing is that our accounts receivable relative to our sales is going up at a faster pace. What that means is that we're collecting our accounts receivable slower. Okay, we do not want that to happen. So our accounts receivable is staying on our books longer relative to the amount that we're selling. So that's not necessarily a good trend. Okay, so in SE7 is calculating the percentage of each item relative to the total. This is your common size stuff that you guys have done since first semester. So all you're doing is taking current assets to your total assets. Property, plant, and equipment to your total assets. So 48,000 over 308,000. 40,000 over 240,000, et cetera, et cetera. Did you guys do this one yet?
No.
Can you do it?
No.
Do it. Do it. So, in looking at Otis's balance sheet and their common size for their balance sheet, what we can see is we have a little shift going on from 2011 to 2012. We can see that their focus of their assets has shifted from current assets down into long-term assets. from the 2 years, okay? So they have fewer current assets relative to their total assets. We can also see that that same shift is taking place on the liability side in a greater percentage, okay? So they're taking on relatively more debt to their equity in 2012 to help finance those long-term assets. It's good from the standpoint that they're financing their long-term asset increase with a long-term debt increase. That's called matching your assets and your liabilities. That's good. What I'd be a little bit concerned with here is that they're taking on a significantly more long-term debt. So I would have liked to maybe seen a little bit more retention of profits and an increase in their stockholders' equity relative. But that being said, you need to watch out for that trend if you're evaluating this company going forward. Okay, so home